Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. All right, today is going to be a really great day for all you Sergeites out there, because today I'm going to talk about you and the peak performance golf swing. What brought this up is I have a student in Australia that has come to every golf school when we've been there, and we didn't go to Australia this year. Things just didn't work out for us. And with my absence this year, he sent me an email and started to ask me questions about the golf swing and everything else, and actually even a couple times sent me some videos to look at. And in the end, the last conversation I sent with him, he sent me a full page of an email that started out like this: Serge, over the past I've digested your numerous videos of my swing and confirmed there are still issues I have in performing the PPGS. So I've made a list of these and I believe need some answers to clear my brain, which is great, because again, unless you fully understand what's here in your head, you'll never get it there. That's why anybody who's taking lessons from me and come to golf schools know I spend a lot of time talking in the beginning, because until you have understanding and knowledge, you can't have commitment and conviction. Your brain has to know what's going on, because it's your brain that tells all your muscles what to do. There's no such thing as muscle memory. Your brain tells it. It's mental memory. So he writes down a list of 6 things. In the setup, hips over the ankles. So we talked about draw a line straight down from the hips to your ankles, where it should be in good posture. PLHR, preloaded heavy right. You know what that means? Standing up and make sure that you got a little bit more weight on the left, or more on the right leg, so that we're already preloaded. So when you turn, you're already there. You just turn, and now you only got one way to go, that way. Left side arc, that means once we bump, with the arc should have an arc like pulling a string on a bow. The bow bows more. Hip turn, he wanted to know about that. Getting vertical in the backswing, bumping, club head position, the dipsy doodle, which is when I bump, the head should go back a little bit, which keeps us behind the ball to straighten the arms out, and then we swing up and Pop-Tart. In the end, he wrote a little summary. And he said that he identified number 5 and 6 was his main concerns, which was getting vertical in the backswing and bumping. Now, in this letter, he also says that whenever he writes anything and he sends pictures, he's always usually got a picture of me in a position and then him in the same position, and he can't get to and he's saying that I just can't quite get what you're doing. All right? And I'm reading all of this, and I'm thinking, and this went on for 2 or 3 emails, and then in this last one that I'm reading off of right now, he says here, after he talks about all, so to speak, in his mind, these problems and negatives, he then says to me, some good news is that I have incorporated the right hand being the major player in the back upswing, and have achieved some good results in my last 5 games, and that I have played to or betted my handicap. But I'm still a long way from being a true PPGS player. And he says here that he's hitting the ball much more accuracy. He dropped his driver for a while, and he's using his 3-wood, but he said he has much more accuracy. My golf link handicap is now 13.4, the lowest it's ever been. So he's not happy what's going on, because he can't match me, but yet he's playing the best he's ever played. His handicap's hitting the ball about the best he has, and his handicap's there, but he's frustrated and discombobulated by the fact he can't match me. Now I'm going to tell you what, he is getting pretty close to matching me. But when I read that last paragraph about how he's hitting the ball better and he's got his lowest handicap, that's when I came back and I wrote him and I figured out what the problem is. And this is the message to all of you today. I started off by saying, I will begin by saying your swing looks good, and all your attempts to perfectly achieve the words and pictures of the PPGS in my swing are excellent, but likely not attainable. Don't get nervous or panic. I will explain. So I go back and I go to what I call as my mission statement. My goal is to help every golfer, whatever your abilities or liabilities, build the best setup and swing that you can, that you are physically and mentally able to do, to achieve within the bounds of the peak performance golf swing parameters. Okay? So what am I saying there? I came down here a little bit farther and I said to him, in my last sentence, in my conclusion, I started off by saying, you are you, and I am Don. I am me. And PPGS is based on the facts of physics, which are laws that are constant and consistent. You and I and all other humans, and we all have different abilities, liabilities, even to injuries that make us each individual. PPGS has strict guidelines for the physics of the swing, and even the physiology of setup has strict guidelines for the movements of the swing. But the great advantage of PPGS over all other swings is that PPGS has parameters that each instructor and player needs to find within the boundaries of parameters which are based on each student's physical abilities or liabilities, or we could go so far as to say DNA. Okay? So what I'm saying is, PPGS, we can make adjustments in your setup and your swing positions to fit what you are physically and mentally able to do. So what I was saying to this gentleman is, he's trying to copy me perfectly. That can't happen. First off, he's a heck of a lot taller than me. I'm shorter, but I got really long arms. I have my feet a lot more flared than he needs to have. All right? And on and on. In one position, and I got a lot of these, I went to a lot of these places and got quotes. I brought one of them out from my original book, Golf Plain and Simple, which was in the infancy of my career. It's got pictures of golfers on the front. There's a second one of these. It's got a lot darker cover. But if you happen to have one of these originals that I think came out about 1986 or something, if you had one of these, you would be the lady down in the, if you're facing it, the lady down in the bottom right-hand corner in the red Bermuda shorts. That's my wife of 43 years, soon to be 44. So you can see who Susan is. But I also take them out of the Foundations Manual, which he mentioned in his original email, which I didn't read, which is what you can get on the internet, and it's been revised. It's been revised last winter, and out of the Teacher Certification Manual. So, but the key is that you are you and I am me. We want to stay as close to the perfect parameters as we can, but nobody can do them all perfect. All right? So you have to, when you look at the pictures or videos of me, that's what your goal is, to try to get as close to it as you can. But when you start hitting the ball really well, and you're looking at yourself maybe here and I'm up there, or you look at me like here and you're only like there, I mean, that's one thing. Like he made one comment at one time where he said, he was talking about where the shaft is supposed to be horizontal to the ground at this point, and so what, the toe somewhat up. He said that I'm higher than him. He was looking at the wrong picture, which I outlined in my message to him. He was looking at a different picture, than the one that he was referencing. Okay, so you got to make sure you're also dealing apples with apples, all right, and not mixing them, all right. So again, the beauty of PPGS is that we can adjust the setup and the swing. One of the biggest adjustments in setups I make is when I got a lot of men who've got damaged ankles, damaged knees, damaged hits, from football, basketball, baseball, tennis, or whatever. Get that with ladies sometimes too, with everybody. I mean, I flare them a little bit more so that the left foot, so that we can reduce the stress on the ankle of when we bump and there's a little bit rolling of the foot, where that takes the stress out of that, especially off the knee and the ankle. Okay. And there's so many other things we can do. That's the beauty of, and I guess we could say the blessing of the Peak Performance Golf Swing. We can massage your setup and your swing. So when you're looking at pictures in the manual or videos, these dailies, and you see me, and I was going to say this, and dailies cut me some slack, because many times I'm standing here and I'm just grabbing a club and I'm starting to swing. So I might be off a little bit. But when you're looking at pictures and all of that stuff in the dailies and everything else, and versus yourself, if you're getting close and you're hitting the ball the best you've ever hit it, or hitting it a lot darn better, you might want to try to get closer and closer to exactly what I look like or what the pictures look like. But if you're having a problem and you're starting to lose it by going more, go back to that point where you're hitting it really good. That might be the point of your limitations. Anything beyond that, you can't lift anymore, you can't stretch anymore or whatever, and it's going to stop pulling, your muscles aren't flexible enough to keep going there or whatever. Your body can't take that point to try to force it. It's going to stop pulling you out of position or whatever, causing you to stop breaking down. No, you want to try to stay in the main parameters: wide knees, outward pressure, maintain the spine, in the mitt, up the tree, down the impact with the arm straight, slightly behind the ball, and finishing straight up into the T position with the recoil and relax right here. Foot all the way up. So that's the message for today. Find out your parameters and try to get it as close as you can to the maximum ones of PPGS. And don't push the envelope, because pushing the envelope will only start pulling you out of position and ruining your swing, and that's not the way to play golf. So find your limitations within the bounds of PPGS, and you're going to find you're going to hit it more consistently, feel better after every round, and be hitting more solid straight and shooting those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again.